Yo guys, welcome back to another episode of Don't Be Afraid podcast, the best in Nigeria, Africa and the world. And in today's episode, we're going to be talking about, actually, it's something that's going to tell you, our I just got back guests couldn't stop talking about how he went somewhere, he did this, he did that. Well, he's going to be filling us in, giving us, you're already hearing his voice.
Jealousy is not a good thing.
I have traveled out to, I traveled to Kwara State, to Abuja once. Yes, it's still traveling. I'm just waiting for a time that I'm going to enter the plane and go to somewhere bigger. But anyway, he's going to tell us about where he went to and everything he did. It's really going to be fun. Please listen in. Hi, Tolu. And we also have another guest. That is here to question him, trick him to know what he was up to when he traveled. Hi, Bella.
Hi, Janela. I want to get educated as well.
Right?
Yeah.
All of us want to learn. So that when we travel, we'll know the things to do.
From the IJGB.
Right.
Among us.
Jealousy, man.
It's not jealousy, but
They're just hating.
No, I mean,
it's not my fault.
I'm envious, right?
It's not my thing. Yeah,
because MWC is a huge event.
Okay, so just for those who don't know, I went to exactly. I went to Mobile World Congress, Barcelona, in Barcelona, and so not in Kwara. Barcelona's outside the country in Spain. I went to the international airport. I had to take passport and everything, and what do you call it?
Yeah, we know the process.
And fly out. So I went to Mobile Congress. It is the largest gathering with regards to the mobile industry. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it is, I think this is the third or fourth time I've gone. It is seriously awe-inspiring. I mean, this year it was over 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there were about 88,000 attendees, and that's small. Normally, when it was pre-COVID, pre-COVID, there were like 150,000 people would turn up for that thing. It's the kind of place where the CEO of Samsung is there. The CEO of China Mobile, the biggest mobile operator.
Who really in mobile technology.
And it is. So these are the guys, it's where the deals are made and all that kind of stuff. And of course, little old me just goes there to go and see what goes on.
I mean, your curiosity definitely contribits to why you go there, no?
It is.
And your interest in mobile tech.
It's a mix of, it's all of that. And it's just that realization of trying to find out what's coming up. I mean, I remember when, I think it was 2018, 2019, I went and they started talking about 5G.
Yeah.
And that was before it came out.
Right.
And then also talked about TikTok before it came out.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So those kind of things, I mean, and it has themes on everything. This year, they're talking about 6G.
Wow.
No way.
Thank you. And it is. It's
not even thinking in 5G.
Do not. I mean, there's so many. It's the kind of place where, I mean, yes, I always talk about, the idea of don't be afraid and about Africa.
Yeah.
It's the kind of place that it actually blows my mind. A friend of mine always has a thing about Oyinbotilo, as in the white man.
Yeah, they are steps ahead.
Yes.
And it's my go to this kind of thing that it reminds me. But I've got to be honest, even the travel outside of the country reminds me that. It was amazing. Because I went from Lagos to London because and stuff, and then here. I mean, there's public transport. I'm a normal person. I mean, I jump on the bus, but it was amazing being able to pay with my phone.
Yeah, when you got on the bus,
everywhere. So I first got in. I'd been worried about, okay, did I have cash? Would I do this and everything? And then you go and ask somebody, how do I pay for things? They go, no, just your phone. And you're trying to set this up and trying to set that up, and you're trying to figure out the right place to put the thing. And you've got little kids going past you, and you're thinking, okay. They can definitely tell that how you say about just got back. No, they can tell that I just got there. Just got there. They can tell that, okay. I didn't
a real baby boomer, no.
Do not know it. It was but it's mind blowing. It is.
So I'm curious about. I mean, so the thing with events recently, and again post COVID. So from like smartphone announcements and all of those things, a lot of these things were virtual. Yeah. When COVID hit, and even after, even till now, so from Samsung to Apple, a lot of the announcements are virtual.
Absolutely.
Do you think that any of those events played any role in how MWC was this year?
No, I think that I went last year when it was the first one after COVID. And it was amazing that this is an industry that you would think would be championing virtual. That's what it's mobile.
Yeah.
It's about connectivity. It's 5G. And we're telling the story about why you need 5G and this is it. But it's amazing the number of people that last year, the first thing they said was, it's nice to be back.
Wow.
Right.
It is. I mean, it just speaks to that thing of as much as we just need that human connection. So that's interesting. I think this year I thought there'd be more people, but I think that there was that scare in China because you've got a lot of people from China coming over.
Yeah.
So I think there was that scare in China just quite close to it. So the numbers were not.
And then Nigeria's elections also.
Yeah, no, Nigerians don't
some
go.
some Nigerians. You went.
Not enough of us.
But you went.
Not,
so
yeah,
imagine
not
that perhaps there are at least 10 people.
Yeah. We're talking
that's not
we're
fair.
talking difference between 100. We're talking difference between 150,000 people and 80,000 people.
That's
Nigerians,
not fair.
Because
I know a number of people who wanted to go, who had issues with like their passports, and of course the visa situation with the US and Nigeria is also something else entirely. You know, it happened in Barcelona anyway.
Yeah,
but
it is. No, but it is. So I think that there were lots of factors. I mean, I think that it was. I actually also think that it was when I got there. First time I got there, you get into Barcelona and you know that it's going to happen.
Right.
They've got people meeting you at the airport, directing that. They've got you get into town.
all of that
signs,
marketing was on point.
They know that mobile conquest is coming to town. This year I didn't feel it. This year I didn't feel that at all, and it was funny that there were people protesting against it.
Protesting against
mobile
conquest.
Yeah.
I mean,
and there was some. It was the first time I'd ever seen it, and there seemed to be this thing about be careful with mobile, and so they dialed it down a lot. But I mean, it's mind blowing.
I think that I hear you when you are mind blown about the whole thing, but then on the flip side are people who are like, be careful of mobile. There are also people who are looking into like this whole slavery situation that happens with like making smartphones and gadgets and all of those things. So these things also contribute. From like your perspective, from the things that were announced there in your presence, which were the most impressive? Because I was expecting some people to make some announcements. I did not see.
No, people dialed
many.
down. People dialed down. I mean, the thing that people didn't. I think that there's so many themes they have there that I think what I can speak about are just the things that I picked that were of interest to me.
Right.
So I walked into one session where they're talking about 6G. We're talking about 6G spectrum. Right. And I walked in and went, this one passed me.
Goodbye.
Because they were talking technical.
Yeah.
And that's not what I was interested in.
Right. Yeah.
So there's all that kind of stuff going on. But what I went in and I have an interest in the metaverse. I have an interest in NFTs. I have an interest in 5G, AI. About those areas, and you talk about mind blowing, but it's mind blowing in two ways. It's mind blowing to see what people are doing.
Yeah.
But it's also mind blowing in being afraid for us as Africans. And that's that underlying thing. I'm sorry, each time I go to these things, I come away energized but scared shitless. Sorry about the language, but scared shitless for us. Because I mean, like little things like, for example, they have this thing called 4YFN, which is 4 years from now, and it's a section of the thing, and it's basically small startups.
Somewhere recently.
It's small startups. So it's who are going to be the big things in 4 years from now.
4 years time.
So and then they have a 4 years from now award. And I went in and thought, okay, listen, let me see the presentations. They had five companies who were presenting. And these guys are talking about, okay, this thing can scale and all that kind of stuff. They're talking about, yes, the market in America and the market in Europe and the market in Asia. Nobody mentioned Africa.
Wow.
They didn't. They didn't. Sorry. They didn't. It was not. When they were looking at potential markets, they didn't talk. They weren't talking about what you call it. What about Africa? That was it. So what was interesting, there was that element of the fact that
like every other continent is advancing, and we're left behind.
Left behind.
And yes, there was. You walk in, and it's if you could explain, it is to walk from one end to the other. I did a video of it is 11 minutes. The size, and I didn't stop. So constant walking is 11 minutes of just walking. That's how big it is. They've got 8 different halls, and it is such an important thing that there was Italy's there, not Italians.
Okay,
Italy.
Okay.
As a country was represented,
as a country,
like having a booth.
They have a booth.
Those things, right?
Spain, obviously, because it's in Spain.
Yeah.
UK is there. Companies like Accenture. Companies like PwC, McKinsey, the one of the leading management consultants are there. And I don't mean they have a table and chair. They have like a full-on big stand. I mean, talking, they host people kind of thing. So it's that important and that mind-blowing. But then there's, I mean, the African one that I saw was, they put together, it was table and chair. So they had like 6 tables and chairs where they brought in a few African. So that's sort of like, okay, let's just bring some people over.
Just tag along.
Yeah. And I don't have the pictures on anymore, but I have them on my computer, but they'd found 6, maybe the UN had found 6, or even GSMA had found 6 companies. They said, look, come along and let's expose you. But you've got Italy that's taking a full representative, Finland, Latvia, Lithuania, Korea, South Korea.
Yeah. So you talk about like companies that were there, that had their own presence there. And some of the names that you mentioned are companies that have presence in Nigeria, Africa and Nigeria specifically, right? And so I would look at it, I'll be optimistic about that in the sense that I know that these companies already have their, foot in Nigeria. And I don't know how far reaching the plans they have will go, but there is a likelihood that there will be some form of, involvement with their Nigerian staff or franchise, I guess. Yeah,
but no, my worry there is more about that we'll just end up being end consumers.
Consumers, yeah.
Not innovators.
Not innovators and not taking part in it. That all we end up being is just consumers.
Yeah.
And that's the concern.
I mean, that's our problem in Africa, generally speaking.
Yeah.
We are
like
so consumer focused, and it's
just
problematic.
like a majority of us are actually really innovative. Majority.
But people are innovative. I think it's also, I don't know, it may be an exposure thing as well. It might be an exposure thing. It might be.
I think there's lots. I think there's infrastructure. I mean, if the government, if the UK government is there, it shows their thing of saying, listen, look, we know how important this is, so we are going to do this.
And we have so many agencies in this country that are IT focused.
Yeah,
but they don't.
Private.
Equals.
Yeah.
Government agencies, ministries.
Which I mean,
and then we don't even have our own minister of digital economy go there.
I don't think they are welcoming to these things.
Again, it's a thing of interest. I believe, like you have said, if it is a priority for them, they will make it happen.
So,
it's not a priority.
They'll make it happen.
They're saying that 6G
like
still 6G is still a few years away. 6G is still a few years away.
Yeah.
But recently I was reading that India's put together a consortium of people to start talking about the impact of 6G.
But don't you think that somehow and this is the thing with this whole bandwagon mentality thing, which makes me a bit concerned, maybe about Africa. Should we be involved in this thing because everyone is involved in it on one hand, or should we tackle our problems as Nigerians or Africans at the local level, where it's like right now our problem is not 6G. Do we even have great 4G as 4G. It is? Can we boast?
5G
can we boast of,
actually?
No, 5G. Let's put 5G at the back.
Okay.
Can we boast and say, listen, 4G, we have 4G. Anyone who has been to Barcelona or the UK or anywhere else and says, I use 4G, can a Nigerian confidently say, I know what you're talking about? So, I mean, don't you think that in a sense, it works because we are tackling our problems at the level that we can, focusing on our own problems, because some of these things are Western problems. And so they'll tell you things like, you can go for MWC. You don't have light problem in your country. You don't have issues of insecurity. Your problems are different. So for a Nigerian, and that may speak to what you said, that some Nigerians may not be interested because our problems are different. What we are facing, MWC right now
is
may not even be one of the things that we focus on. So
I absolutely agree
on another
absolutely agree with you. But my challenge is, or where I come from, where my thinking is we're about to be left so far behind. That's my worry about it.
But we play catch up very well. I think that we play catch up really well.
Sorry, I'm going to put you on the spot. Name me one thing. Or tell me where. Tell me in what areas.
I think that in fintech, Nigeria and Africa is doing fantastic.
I
think we are doing fantastic.
And that's because we've had to innovate to deal with the
problems in the country.
But we've also found solutions that then are applicable globally. You talk about insecurity. So even if it's a matter of like, listen, look, we're finding solutions here that are applied to insecurity and solve insecurity.
Yeah.
From a tech point of view, there's no reasons why that does not apply and roll out. You talk about mobile money. Mobile money is relevant globally. Yeah. Mobile money, is relevant. So if we crack it here, yes, actually, there are the advantages globally. But my thing is that I worry that we're not even doing that. That when we talk about focusing on what our issues are here, what we're talking about around is that, listen, look, we don't have light. What we're focusing on is that we're limiting ourselves that, okay, we don't have roads or we don't have that. But I think that it's like, just dream.
Yeah, make do with what you have at the moment.
No, just dream.
Just-
so whatever level you are at,
Just think
big.
Think big.
Just think.
Futuristic.
Exactly. So whether or not if you're Nigerian and you want to come up with the next Airbnb, do it.
Yeah.
Can we even? I mean, what do you call it? Okay, with the fintechs, you talked about 4G. Right, the difference between 4G, 5G, and stuff.
Yeah.
If we still, I mean, we had a session earlier on. I mean, we talked about cash crunch and the issues around transfers.
Yeah.
So with our infrastructure and stuff like that, if we had a proper 5G network,
There wouldn't be any issues like
can
failed
you
bank
imagine
transfers
that?
and stuff like
So when we
that.
then say, listen, let's park that and just get our stuff doing that. The reality is to be able to really achieve our potential, can we afford to be left behind? I don't want to start talking about the challenges that are, I mean, not being a doom merchant or whatever it is. I believe that we've got problems coming in. I mean, when we talk about AI
Right.
and machine learning and stuff like that, and the biggest thing from an employment point of view,
Yeah.
we're getting an industry. We're getting what they always used to sell us on was that for Africa, you guys have got young people and you're going to be, labor and all that kind of stuff in years to come. You asked what I saw at the conference. They talked about they're building warehouses without people. They're totally robotic.
Yeah. I've seen a few of they're not warehouses. Some of them are like stores, like supermarkets, and they are not manned by human beings. You just walk in, use your card, and you're out. There's no human being inside.
So where does the Africa then play in there? What is it and that's my worry. And I said, look, I might be a doom merchant and stuff.
Yeah.
And then, but it's that thing of like, listen, look, if we're not even aware and we're facing them saying, look, let's build the 4G. These guys have done, by the time they've done 5G, they've solved it. They've solved the issue they're having around.
And they have moved on.
And they've moved on. And they've now got to a stage where, okay, look, we've got 4G, so great. So now we can now, order and get Jumia to deliver to you in 2 days. But hang on a second. Amazon is now doing it, so Amazon is delivering to you in an hour. I saw a video, and this was, I showed it to, I saw a video on TikTok. I'm a TikTok fan, where they were talking about, exactly. They were talking about deliveries being done in the UK by robots.
There are drone deliveries as well.
This one was even that. What you call it? It was just a
by the
roadside.
Oh,
just a cart. So Tesco or a supermarket, you order this cart, goes to your local place, and the cart will take it to you. It looked amazing, and I captured all my stuff, and I showed it to you people who live there. They went, "Oh, so it's not just me that hadn't seen it before." The guys there. So there's that sort of it being futuristic. But that's where my worry is the fact that, listen,
I'm optimistic about the fact that Nigerians like yourself, Nigerians like us, and a few other Nigerians whom we may not know, but who are just as interested, as involved, as invested in the future of technology, are getting the information that they need. And so that's why sometimes I hear you with, employability. So whether that's with regards to not needing human beings, in the office anymore, or even giving people tasks that may be a bit too advanced for them because of how the world is, evolving every day. I think that people are still getting themselves educated about some of these things. And there are Nigerians like yourself who may have been at MWC, who are just getting this information because of things that they hope to build in Nigeria. They may not even be in Nigeria right now. Some may be in Nigeria, and for them, it's just that whole futuristic thing. And that's why I am excited. It's like, I get it. The people who are supposed to be the decision makers, especially government, right? They don't seem very interested in this.
They don't see what people see.
They're not even interested.
Yeah. Exactly.
There are people who are in their cabinets who may believe these things or who may know the importance of them getting these things. But it's that thing of, if the person at the top who makes the decisions doesn't agree, it's not going to make any sense to them.
It's like, but it doesn't stop
exactly. But it doesn't stop the young Nigerian, right? The tech enthusiastic Nigerian from getting that information, getting that knowledge, and doing what they can at their level. And I understand how the world may be leaving us behind and all of that, but I think that still Nigerians, again, and that's the thing, it may not be the right phrase to use, but we have a way of catching up with the rest of the world, and that is with regards to Nigerians who sometimes come back into the country to build stuff, or Nigerians who just really want Nigeria to be better, who go out there, get the education, and are building things in their own neck of the woods.
I hope so. No, because it is. I said, like, I go there and there's the fear, but there's also the excitement. There's also the excitement of seeing the stuff. As I said, look, I went there and I paid with my phone.
Yeah.
So why the banks can do that. They can do contactless payment.
Yeah.
They can move that forward. So I hope there are people who will do it.
I believe that they are.
Yes, and I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
I'm excited, but I think that, I mean, I don't know whether it's a wake-up call or whether it's a thing of like saying that, listen, look, or whether or not, I mean, yeah, they might exist. I mean, you talked about the fintechs. I didn't know about it. They build their things, and then, suddenly everyone went into that and it was great.
Yeah.
So there might be people in pockets building it, but it's that thing of, I really do hope we're doing it. I really do hope so. I think that, would you call it? I do, because it was.
It's expensive. It's expensive to do. The environment also is not the most encouraging, because of course you look at how Nigerians want to do stuff. They want to innovate, right?
What you think of the process to actually do that? It's really
announce the product first, and then government will come one policy and government will now be your competition. It's crazy. So I think these are some of the things that really discourage Nigerians. It is so discouraging.
Take for example, Uber.
But we're so resilient. It's weird. Lagos.
They don't have lag ride.
There's a joke or whatever about the fact that you should employ a lazy person, because the lazy person, because they're lazy, tries to find the easiest way out. So it's almost that sort of like, because of all the challenges that we have, the fact that it hasn't made easy for us.
Yeah.
The fact that we even in any way find a solution is in itself an achievement.
Yeah.
So that in itself shows our resilience and our ability.
Yes.
And we're talking about, innovation. They make it so difficult for us that we have to be innovative. I was talking about, there was a joke I was reading about some guy who was saying that during the cash crunch, all he was doing was he was queuing in ATM. He didn't have money.
Yeah, and he'll collect money from people
and he was...
Niger.
Or the people who were doing...
queue.
Exactly. So he was just selling his space in the queue, and that's how he was making money.
It's actually funny. I mean, so you wake up in the morning and then
you are
just go and
forced
queue.
to innovate.
But, yes. But I mean, to bring it back, I mean, you sort of... And I didn't answer it, and I'll try and do it. There was a lot of stuff. There's... and this is in Nigeria, this is global, and about AI and the fear of it, and there's but the power of where they're going to with it, phenomenal. It was interesting that I could see what I feel was a shift in the Mobile World Congress because the fact of relevance. So that thing of saying, is AI really mobile tech, or is it so there was a sort of like, let's talk, to really get the best of AI, you need 5G, you need better networks and all that kind of stuff. So somehow AI fits in there and all that kind of stuff. So that in itself was interesting of them trying to expand and talk about IoT, Internet of Things, and wearables and all that kind of stuff, and NFTs, etc., etc., etc. But I think the biggest thing, and this is I'm not sure if it's a tech thing. Okay, no, two things. I went into one session where they talked about cancer, and they used AI to diagnose what they said.
I saw a report about that.
What they said, and this was an interesting one, was that the treatment that we currently have for cancer is standard. You get ill, we give you these tablets. We give you. Sorry, no. I pointed that way now. I didn't point. I pointed. Okay, so looking away. Somebody somewhere.
Thank you.
Somebody somewhere gets ill, and what they do is they give them drugs and then they give them chemo, but it's the standard stuff. And what they said was that, well, actually, no. That what they're finding is that the makeup of each cancer is different, and so the treatment should be different. So what they were using AI to do was to actually diagnose. So the
person
that specific cancer, and they gave the example. And this was a company called Boston Gen. They gave the example of some guy who had done all the chemo and everything and was given 4 weeks to live, and his doctor referred him to Boston Gen. And when they did the analysis of his cancer, they said, okay, no, this is the makeup, this is genetic makeup of it. And as such, they were then able to give the right treatment. And 2 years on, the guy's still alive and cancer's free.
Wow.
That's major.
So that's mind-blowing.
Health tech.
That's mind-blowing. The other one, I don't know if this is tech or if this is just humanity.
You know how tech is, you can apply tech to everything now. It's really no matter broad. How you look at it. You can apply tech to everything.
But there was a guy who gave a session on the death of death. And that idea that now people are beginning to treat death as a treatable disease.
How? No.
I went into the session, and what they said, the guy gave an example that, okay, let's say an earthworm or tapeworm is meant to live for 10 days.
Right.
They have been able to extend that lifetime of the life cycle of the earth of a tapeworm by 10 times. So rather than living for 10 days, it's lived 100 days. With a
But it's still
mouse,
going to die.
huh? Yes, eventually it does.
But then
But
its lifespan has been increased.
Lifespan has been increased.
But what's the essence? What's the point?
You know.
But
A
what
chicken
if
will
I-
still see that woman eat it.
No, but wait,
That's what
absolutely,
we used to
absolutely,
catch fish.
Totally. No, but think about it, as in that idea of, listen, look, we're aging population, we age, and that the idea of aging, treating it as a treatable disease. So I have, again, TikTok. There's something about some guys were talking about the fact that they've been able to regress a mouse's vision. So that it was half blind from age, and they managed to regress it with treatment to get its eyes back to what it was when it was young.
That's interesting.
So think of that thing, of the idea of you will still get run over, or you will still get sorry okay. That person out there will still get run over, I still get hit and all that kind of stuff, but it's not because of aging. That if they can manage aging, they can now extend lifetime.
I think there are some things that tech should not bother delving
Right.
into.
Oh no, scary.
It's pointless.
Scary.
It's like, why? How far can you push the envelope, really?
I would
Scary.
love to see how
can you
far,
push the
anyways.
envelope? But I'm
I would love to
excited
see how
about
far.
Nokia. Nokia, launched their new logo.
Their new logo.
At MWC. I think it was nice. It was edgy. I don't know how much difference it will make. I don't know if it will convert to
who's not here?
to sales.
Who's
in
not here?
any way. I wish them the best.
Even Africans
really.
no longer remember when Africans. But it was interesting. Sorry, we'll talk about Nokia. Do you know that this year, or this thing was 50th anniversary of the first ever mobile phone call?
And yes, Martin Cooper was honored. He's the grandfather of mobile phone. Mobile
should have gone now.
handheld.
You should have
Right.
gone.
They
You
should have-
should have gone.
Next
You should have
time
been
Put your
there.
hand back when you're going.
We are going to do a reunion.
Definitely.
Sorry, I don't understand why
We'll
people
do
are
this-
No,
doing
but
we'll
it was fun. I mean, I
This is-
like the fact that they did that for him.
It's good.
Good. He's 94 years old now. 94. So I mean,
Maybe he's been doing the regression therapy. Sorry.
that was a very good one. That was a very good. No, but I thought that was really nice. Of course, it's a Mobile World Congress, so
Yeah.
typically.
Did you do anything
there'll be some
fun
focus.
though while you were there? I mean, it's
The food is
Barcelona.
amazing.
The what?
Really,
Food is
food.
amazing.
Really,
The best
Food is amazing.
part.
Food is
it's
amazing.
like Nigerian food.
The food is amazing. So the food is amazing.
Did you carry your own
The
pepper?
food is. I don't like pepper. I don't.
What?
And I'm a Yoruba man. I don't like pepper. I've been away for too long. I've been away for too long. So
I will have my own
whenever I eat
pepper.
pepper, my bald patch on my head sweats.
yeah.
So that's a challenge.
Yeah.
So,
So I mean, it
then
worked for you. The
Yeah.
weather.
bloody cold, unusually cold. But it's I get to walk around. The one of my
So yeah, you're able to at least
just walk.
Yeah.
So hitting my 10,000 steps a day, easy.
easy.
Easy. Just even going to the conference each day and walking
Yeah.
around for session. Yeah, I was hitting 20,000.
How about the people? How about the people?
Yeah, true.
People are interesting. People are friendly. I mean, I think Barcelona as it is was set up to because of how big that the venue of Mobile Congress is. They have lots of people coming in, and it's a tourist center. So I mean, they're set up to deal with tourists.
Yeah.
So they're friendly, they're helpful. But it was interesting and enjoyable. But it's interesting because my company pays for it, and each year I sort of start feeling guilty about it. Oh, listen, can we justify it and all that kind of stuff? The dollars now, whatever it is, can you justify it?
It's increased
But
again.
exactly. But then you come back or you go to that thing, and what you get exposed to. I mean, they have AI toothbrushes. I mean,
No kidding.
yeah. So
How would
We don't
AI
ha-
toothbrush?
I didn't even.
Did you get one?
You know when you said no.
Why didn't you buy?
Pointless.
I know.
No,
I
and
know.
I don't think it's pointless. I actually think I would love to try it.
AI
No.
toothbrush.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So to focus on one
Oh,
tooth.
oh.
So it will detect the tooth that's decaying.
Exactly.
Is that what that was?
And also tell you brush the right way and learn all that kind of stuff. So it's
Is it replaceable or is it going to be for life?
I don't know.
And it's going
But
to be needlessly expensive as well.
Okay, that's
it's a
true.
prototype at the moment, but it's so but it's awe inspiring, really
Yeah.
inspiring. The fact that still pushing big on metaverse, but they accept the fact that there needs to be an acceptance of the consumer version is years away. Horizon Worlds, they said, was only getting about 30,000 users regularly, which is Amazon's Meta's version, so not a lot. But what they did and what they're moving more and more is the business to business. That idea of the metaverse for digital twins. So have you heard that the Saudis are building a new city?
No, I haven't.
Yes, there's a city they're building that's in the desert that's either called autonomous. Oh, you need to check it out.
Those people.
No, you know how Dubai, what Dubai saw was they built Dubai around that idea that, look, oil is dwindling, so we need to now do it. I think that's what the Saudis are doing in their own play. That's their own play. It's a city that's like, it's, I mean, I can't even describe it.
I think, you should check it out.
It is. I mean, and they were there and what they did was about that idea of like, even in designing the city, they were doing it in the metaverse.
Yeah.
So that way they could then see the implications of it, and then, you know, before they did it in real life, you could see that, okay, if we do this, that's how it's going to impact on that and all that kind of stuff, which in itself is an amazing thing.
Iterate all of that.
Exactly. And then you now move to business of the metaverse, and that idea of, you know, you're building, when you're planning a warehouse, you can actually position where the items need to be, how the thing needs to work.
I mean, I see how it is important for people to go, because sometimes in your little corner of the world, you feel like, am I not being too ambitious? And then you get there and you see other people doing it, and you're like, you know what? I
gotta dream big.
At this point,
don't be afraid
to. So I think
do it anyway.
That definitely is a
they said
big takeaway.
Again, they're selling it, but they said NFTs are not dead. NFTs, but they talked also about the use cases and stuff. So there's a real move towards, you know, after all the excitement of 5G, they're now trying to create the use cases. So how is it and what is it? And it's interesting that whilst, it's about now, what can you guys do with it? So they're finding excuses. They're finding things, metaverse, machine learning, generative AI, and all that kind of stuff. And that idea that for those things to be able to reach their potential, they need better networks.
Right. And they have to be perhaps mobile.
Eventually, because
I feel like this conversation is one that if we don't stop, we are going to continue. Because I'm also now thinking to myself, I mean, the idea behind the Mobile World Congress definitely was talk about like mobile innovation, you know, smartphone technology, mobile technology generally speaking. And right now, a lot of people have moved on from there. You don't see many mobile phone companies going there to make presentations. They still do that, but this is no longer the highlight of MWC. We have now what can your smartphone not do now?
True.
Yeah.
Right now, I don't know that they've broken the glass ceiling. They have reached the skies. I don't know how
and more.
I don't know where else they can go. So it's like they have hit that brick wall, and it's like we're not sure what to do now. Right. But the show must go on. And so you start introducing new concepts and all of those things. So
and you move to wearables. You move to. I mean, they talk about wearable glasses and the fact that you can now do. But you got to be there to see.
I know.
And they're the ones who are going to push it, and then it's going to come to us.
The West. Always forcing things on the rest of us.
So to round this up, what's just a very short advice, actually? Having been there, seeing what you saw.
Dream. Don't be afraid of tech. Dream.
One.
Okay, so, because I think this is every single day. If you're an African Nigerian, every day is hard. But as easy as it sounds, don't let that hold you back. So dream.
Don't be held back.
Dream and just innovate. And as Bella said, around that idea of fintechs, we have the ability to create stuff here that will have global impact. Yeah. Okay. And so, just do it. Just go for it and do it.
Dream, don't be held back. Hashtag dream, don't be afraid. Just do it. Like Nike says, just do it.
Yeah, you see, not free advertising. Please, you can
and that brings us to the end of this podcast episode. We hope you enjoyed it. And once again, dream, don't be afraid. And
bye.
Bye.